Hello all and welcome to this lecture on Excel. So in this video we will discuss about some calculations which we will apply in this worksheet. So suppose I have this worksheet ready, this spreadsheet ready with the sale for the first quarter about the various kind of phone brands which have been sold. So I have sales for January, February and March. Now suppose I want to add all the sales. So I'll put a total here. I'll write total here. It is considering as a textual data type, so it is aligning to the left. Now I have to add these. What is the sum of the sales in January, February and March? So we'll need to apply some math. We will need to do some addition here. So whenever you need to apply some mathematical function, you can have various kind of approaches in Excel. So we'll start up with a basic one and then we will move to the more advanced one. So any mathematical computation from a very scratch level to the advanced level in Excel start with an equal to sign. This is very important. Any mathematical computation, any mathematical function, whatever you do in Excel, from a very simple calculation to the advanced calculation, you always have to start up with an equal to sign. And now suppose you want to add all these things. So what you can do, you can write here 350 plus 400 plus 700 plus 200 plus 100. Same like a calculator. My Excel works same like a calculator. So I put an equal to sign and I add the values of my each cell and press enter. So my total cell has the sum of total cells or the total sales is 1750 pieces. Similarly, you can do it here also. You can put your equal to sign, then you will add this. One second. You will put a equal to sign, then you will add this 500 plus 600 plus 200 plus 300 again plus 200. This is my 1800. So my total sales for the month of February is 1800. But there is a problem in this approach. What is the problem? Suppose I have a 5 or 6 rows here. But for example, there is a data sheet which will have 200, 300 or thousands of rows. So it is manually very inefficient to write everything 350, 400, 700. And what if you mistakenly do a typo error? For example, you have to type 300 and mistakenly you type 400, or suppose 4000. Suppose in this case, suppose while calculating, suppose I write 4000 here. My whole calculation will actually go to toss. See, it will come to 5350. So this is very computationally inefficient. Should not do this. This is not a good practice. It is very exhaustive. So what can we do apart from that? So in that case, we will use the cell referencing which we learned in the last video. What is a cell referencing? Means how you can reference a cell in a spreadsheet. So what is my cell reference for this 350? You can see on the name section here. This is called a name box, which will show you the cell reference. So 350 has a cell reference of C4. That means 350 has been written on a 4th row and 3rd column or the Cth column. So to understand it, what I will do, I will again start the computation, but this time I will use the cell reference. So I will start with equal to Now what I will do, I will select this. This has a cell reference of C4, and then I will add again. This has a cell reference of C5. I can do this. Now my Excel is also having some color coding here, which will make it much more interesting and much more easier to differentiate. So whatever color box it will show here, the same color, this will be the same font color here. So this is C6. Again I will add. This is 200. This is 100. Now this is 1750. When you will select this, it will show all the cell references that it is calculating, it is summing C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. Sorry. Enter. So this is my sales. This is my sum of sales. Now, what does a cell reference do basically? My cell reference, suppose my cell reference, what it does, it takes all the, so now suppose if I change this also, suppose I change this to 300. My result, my sum will decrease to 1700. Why cell referencing is very important? Because you can also change the values and accordingly your summation will change. Similarly, you can also sum for the fab section 500 plus 600 plus 200 plus 300 plus 200. Enter. So in this case I am getting the sale of 1800. But again I have some problem with this type of calculation. What is the problem? That every time I cannot select the cell, like so I can miss it also sometimes, or I can, it is very exhaustive. Again, suppose there are thousands and thousands of rows, you cannot go on and selecting B4 plus C4 plus D4 plus E4, whatever it is. It will be very exhaustive and very irrational to use that kind of a calculation. Though this type of calculation has some pros which my previous calculation, which was summing the values, did not have. But again, this is not very much rational to use this type of calculation for a entire for a long type of data set, or the data set which contains a number of rows. So in that case, what we can do here? In that case, what do you think we can do here? So there is another type of sum which you can use it, which is called an auto sum, which is a summation function. So in this case, what you have to do, you have to go to this formula section here. And here you will have a lot of formula. You have insert function, auto sum, financial function, logical function, text, date and time, lookup, math and trigonometry, and more function. So guys, you have to actually use all these things, all this type of formulas every now and then, so that you can know what I want and how I want and in which section I have to look at it. So I want a summation section here. I will click on math and trigonometry. What I will do, I will go here. I'll see if I find some sum or not. So I find a sum here. Okay. I can select sum. And now a argument window will open, which will do a summation of C4 to C8. So here I can see my cell reference starts from C4 to C8. So it is okay, but you can also change it accordingly. You can do it manually. Suppose for instance, in some cases, if my Excel is taking something as wrong input, you can change to C4 to C8 and then you can put OK. So see, my 1700 comes so fast. I don't have to again do plus and everything. Similarly, I can do here the similar thing. I can put an equal to sign. I can go a math and trigonometry. I can go to the sum. I can find a sum here, and it is showing from D4 to D8. Okay, fine enough. I got 1800 here. Okay, you can try out all these three methods one by one to understand how it goes on. So we'll have another shortcut for the sum, but I will tell you about that in the next video. First, you understand what is this actually. So this is how you can make it directly. You can start it. You can put on sum from here. You can find a sum and you can add it up. Okay. So I can do it something like this. I can also type it sum from here and I can select this. Okay. So equal to, I can also write sum. So once you start having the habit, what you can do, you can start doing all these things by yourself also. So see, this is how it is done. Very simple. Now, there is one more important thing which I want to tell you here in this kind of calculations. Suppose I delete all these things. I delete all this. Now, I want to use the earlier version known as the cell referencing method. How? I will do it like this. B plus C4 or okay, I'll skip this. I'll use the normal sum method. I'll go here. I'll use sum, or you can even write it out since you know now what a sum function is. So what I will do, I will use sum and then okay. Now it is calculating. This is using a cell reference method. This is the extension of a referencing method which we used earlier. What we used? We used we used C4 plus C5 plus C6 plus C7 plus C8, and then we added it up. This is the extension of the same thing. It is just using a function sum and using a cell reference method which is starting from C4 to C8. Now, whenever I am using a cell referencing method, what I am telling my Excel is add everything. C4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add every five cells up above you. Whatever 5 cells will be above you, you will have to add it and you have to paste it here. So in that case, what will happen? Suppose I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. It will change to 1800. Why? Because I'm using my cell referencing. You understand me properly, guys. I'm using a cell referencing where what I'm telling my Excel is, you have to, whenever I'm copying this function, copying this formula and putting it here, I'm telling my Excel is, guys, you have to add the first 5 cells above you and give me the result. That's it. I'm telling to my Excel. Similarly, I'm copying this and I'm pasting it here. What I'm telling my Excel, I'm telling that I have pasted this formula. What you have to do? You have to add the 5 cells value above you and give me the total. This is what I want from my cell referencing method. That is why it is very easy that you just give a formula here and then you can copy and paste. So it will use the same thing. This is called a cell referencing method. Now this can be used for the other total also. Suppose I also want a total here about the total sale happened per phone. So here also I can use the same thing. I can start with equal to, I can put sum here, then I can use a parenthesis. I can use this and close the parenthesis and I will tap to enter. This is 1600. So what I'm telling my Excel is add all the 3 cells from the left hand side of your whenever the location where I have pasted the formula. I select this, I'll paste it here. What it will show? It will tell my Excel add all the cells on the left hand side of where I have pasted my formula, all 3 cells. Again, I'll copy this and I can paste it here. Again, I can paste both like this. You can select once and you can multiple, you can paste it. So how you can do it? Suppose I delete both the numbers here. What I will do, I'll just select it once and I will paste it both like this. Control C for copying. I use Control C, Control and C, and then I will select these two and I will put Control V. I will get my total. So this is my cell referencing. This is very, very easy now. You do not have to go to each and every row and column and you have to do the addition or multiplication or division or subtraction, anything. You don't have to do it manually, taking every cell value, adding it or subtracting it or multiplying it. You can just put a calculation on one column or one row and you can drag it to all the other rows and columns. It is very, very easy. You can and if you want to avoid this copy and paste also, you can. It is very simple. I'll just delete all these values here. Once I have had my one calculation here, there will be one square kind of point which will come on the bottom right hand side of a cell. This one. What you can do, whenever you will put your mouse on that, it will show a plus sign. You just have to click this and you have to drag this. Something like this. You have to click it. You have to click it accordingly. 1 second. It will come to 1800. How you have to do? You have to click and you have to drag. You have to click and you have to drag. Something like this. So it will also it can also give you your final result. You can also use your cut, copy, paste, and you can also select it accordingly. So my grand total is 7,300. So this is how you can use your either cell referencing method. You can use your function for the summation, and also you can apply it to all the other places in the spreadsheet. Again, now this cell referencing is very simple to do, but again it poses a problem. What is the problem? Let us discuss in the next video. Thank you.